All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, man. Wow. I'm fine, thanks. Somebody asked. I sat in traffic for an hour. Trying to get in here. Thank you guys so much for braving the corporate 5K. I think you all should get t-shirts for that, or a ribbon or something. You know, like sat parked in downtown in the corporate 5K. You know. Yeah, that was rough. Thank you guys for being here. We're sorry we had a delay. We needed to make sure all of our presenters were here. They were also stuck in traffic. So, all right. So first of all, thank you guys. This is a special night. How many of you know what tonight is? Melissa. What? What's tonight? It's our Indieversary. That's right. This is our third Indieversary. Indienomicon is going into its 4th year altogether, which is fantastic. Yeah, let's give a round of applause. Thank you. And what is truly amazing about that, if I can, some of you may have heard this story before, but for those of you that are new, or maybe it's unfamiliar, it's one of those like classic tales that should be told every once in a while, right? Back a handful of years ago, there were a few of us that got together and we realized Orlando was pretty awesome. There were a lot of really cool games being developed here, but nobody knew about them. And we decided we wanted to change that. So our founding members, we got together and we decided we were going to throw a show. And we were going to showcase some of those games. And that was the first Indienomicon event. There were about 20 people that showed up, I think by accident. But then the next month, we had like 40 people show up. And then the next month, 50 people showed up. And it just kept growing. And where at first we knew of about maybe 6 studios in town that were that were building indie games, pretty soon developers were coming out of the woodwork and saying like, hey, we heard about Indienomicon. Can we get involved with this? Can we show off our game at your next show? So we went from knowing about maybe half a dozen studios to now this is our 36th event, and we showcase 2 to 3 games every month. So do the math. We've showcased a lot of games built here in Central Florida, and it's amazing. It's an amazing testament to how awesome this community is. That there's so much great content out there, and you guys are familiar with some of these titles. They're titles that have gotten national recognition. Titles like Dropsy and Magicite and Ascendant, right, are all games that you guys are familiar with. And that's fantastic. They're all built here in Orlando. We have given local developers a chance to feel like a rock star once a month, right? To get up here and showcase their games in front of an audience of amazing gamers and interact with you guys and feel special about their development. And we've helped to raise awareness for those games now for going into our 4th year. So I'd like you guys to give a round of applause to all of the developers that have helped make this happen. It's an amazing community. In addition to that, some of you may be aware of some of the events that have spawned off in part as a result of Indienomicon. So by aggregating this community over the last couple of years, we have helped to kind of plant the seeds for events like the Indie Galactic Space Jam, which is unique to Orlando and is a really great partnership between our local developers and the space industry. And that's amazing stuff. So there's all sorts of things like that have popped up. Our global game jams that we continue to run in January. Every year, keep getting bigger. And Orlando is the 6th largest global game jam in the world. The only game jams bigger than Orlando are actual countries that get together and host events, right? We're the largest city. So that's partly what we were aiming to do when we built Indienomicon. We came up with this idea was to put Orlando on the map and really make it a center for entertainment technology. And I think every year with every meetup, with every event that takes place, we get a little bit closer to meeting that goal. And it's in part because of all of these awesome people that show up and support our developers. So thank you guys for 3 awesome years. I'm going to give you all a round of applause. All right. We would also like to thank the Melrose Center for being our home now for like good 2 years now. This has been amazing. It's a fantastic facility. All you need is a library card and a tour of the place. There's a little orientation event, and you can get access to all of these facilities, including a 3D printer. They'll teach you how to solder and build electronics. There's a recording studio, a small little video editing bay. All of that stuff is free for you guys to use just by having a library card, which is amazing. So we want to thank them for being our home for so long now. We have 2 really great games tonight and a couple of really fun announcements, which I'm excited to get into. So we're going to go ahead and start with Gravity Arc by Y Game Studio. So please give a round of applause to Chris and Matthew Ross.
Cool. So first of all, I should say this is my first Indienomicon, which is this has been a cool event so far. I've met a lot of really cool people, so this has already been awesome. Christopher has been here a couple times already. I guess more than a couple. Anyway, so my name is Matthew Ross. This is my brother Christopher.
Hello.
And we run Y Game Studio. And so I'm really excited to show you guys our newest game called Gravity Arc. And so Gravity Arc is a phone application, so it's currently available for iOS and Android. So I'm going to jump right into it and show you a trailer.
So we're going to fix the volume for a moment before we start to bring the house down here.
That's better.
3, 2, 1.
Barely turned.
Awesome, thank you. So what we want to do now is sort of give you a little bit of the history of the game, and then we're going to talk about some of the key features in it, and then give you a quick demo, and then later in the evening we're going to let you guys try out the game yourself. So I'm going to hand it over to my brother, and he's going to tell you about the history of the development.
So Gravity Arc actually started as a game jam game created at the Galactic Space Jam, which David actually just mentioned a couple of minutes ago. You can see me there, sort of circled in red, and I mixed a bunch of people. Many of the people here I'm actually seeing out at Indienomicon today, so yay Galactic Space Jam. So when I arrived, I had this cool idea that I wanted to pitch that had like black holes and supernovas and gravity and a bunch of exciting space things. The problem was that I had to move in the middle of the game jam. So I'm up here trying to convince people to join me, and I have to say, oh, by the way, after I finish pitching, I'm going to go move a couch and TV and a bunch of other things and maybe show up at some point. So you can imagine people weren't thrilled about the premise of joining a project when the person who's attempting to do it is going to not be there like half the time. But I liked the idea, so I decided to run with it anyway. So at the end of the couple of days of the game jam, I had something made. I was ready to present, and you're able to see this version in the background. Now, no, there wasn't that much polish, and the difficulty was extremely hard, but physics-wise, there was actually some pretty cool things happening. There was pretty accurate gravity. You were able to have planets sort of come apart into different asteroids shooting in every direction and then come back together, so forth. So a couple of months ago, my brother and I were attempting to figure out what project we wanted to do next. So we had a thought and we said, okay, Gravity Arc, that seems good. Let's try and run with it. So we have a supernova on the left. We wanted it to be an endless runner, so you're continuously attempting to go to the right, and you are controlling literally the entirety of humanity. You are trying to save the planet Earth as the sun goes supernova, but you're not controlling it directly. You are controlling the Earth indirectly by creating black holes. So if you imagine a phone in front of you, when you tap the screen, it's going to create a black hole. The black hole has a gravitational pull, and that pull is going to pull the Earth toward it. And then you're able to use that to change the direction of the Earth, to make the Earth go faster and have it sort of arc around. But gravity just doesn't affect the things that you want it to. One of the major, so beyond the supernova, which is sort of the main motivator in the game, making you move forward, there's also a lot of asteroids. And when you place black holes, it's also pulling the asteroids toward it. So you have to get the Earth to go through all of these things by using the black hole while the black hole is actually affecting things in the environment. Now, we didn't want people to play the game once and then see the map and then play it again and have it be the exact same. So the game is actually procedurally generated, and we set up sort of chunks that are in a text file, and then we're turning that into asteroids as you're going. On the right, you're able to see the different chunks and how they're sort of coming together to be seamless. So you can imagine sort of an Earth attempting to go through all of these obstacles. Now, if you have an interest in the procedural generation, we actually started a blog in the last couple of weeks where we dig into the procedural generation a bit further, and it's directed at those that have an interest in game design, but you don't have to be an expert. You can be just somebody who likes games and wants to know about it, or somebody who is a beginner trying to figure out how some things work. Now, while you're running around, it's not just, fireballs being thrown at you and asteroids. There's also some things that work to your advantage. In this case, you're able to see a little astronaut above the asteroid sort of in the center. And as you're moving the Earth around, if you get the Earth close enough to the astronaut, you can collect the astronauts and sort of save them as they're sort of flailing helplessly in space. Now, if you collect 100 of them, you're able to use 100 of them and have them do research and pull a ship out of a wormhole, and then you're able to play as some of the other ships. So I'm going to pass it off to Matthew, who's going to dig into some of the ships that are available.
Cool. Yeah. So as my brother said, one of your rewards for collecting these astronauts is you can unlock new ships throughout the game. And so we have a variety of different ships. I want to tell you about a couple of them. The first one is Space Bat. So if you're unfamiliar with Space Bat, this was an actual bat from back in 2009 when the shuttle was still functioning. What they found, they saw this heat signature on the shuttle, and they determined that it was a bat. But they figured once the shuttle would start to launch, the bat would fly away. But it didn't. They were actually able to follow the heat signature of that bat all the way up into the atmosphere. And so the internet basically freaked out about this and then started painting a bunch of stuff talking about Space Bat, and it became a big meme back then. So here you see Laika, the Russian space dog, hanging out with Space Bat. So we thought this was awesome, so we of course wanted to put Space Bat in the game. So here you see the character selection menu, and then there's Space Bat flying through the universe. Another one we added was Doge. So if you don't know what this probably won't make any sense, and I'm not going to try to explain it. But if you do know what Doge is, hopefully this is hilarious. So these are just two examples of the ships. We have a ton of them. We have a bunch of other space-themed ones. We're constantly adding new ones to the game. We just added a submarine sandwich. So if you've ever wanted to take a sub and fly it through space, now you can. We also added we're adding a water bear, if anybody knows what a tardigrade is. So that's going to be in the game. So what we want to do now is actually show you what the game looks like while it's running, and then we'd be happy to take any questions. And then after all of the talks, we're actually going to be presenting the game over at the other giant touchscreen, so you should come check that out.
So the game is challenging by design, so I'm really hoping to not just immediately die in front of you guys. We shall see.
What is the current high score is like 60,000 or something?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So the current high score is like 60,000 across everybody who's played it. So let's see if he beats it right now.
I think the average is like 4,000.
Yeah.
So have long. Yeah. See, it's talking. I was doing great until I talked. Yeah. So that's Gravity Arc. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
It says rated. What's your rating?
I think on Android it's like 4.97. On iOS, I don't recall. Out of 5. Out of 5. Yeah, very happy about it. We've only gotten one review on Android that isn't a 5-star rating, and it was a 4-star rating, and he really liked the game. Like, he even tweeted at me. He was like, "Dude, I loved it. It was great." On iOS, I don't remember. We have a lot fewer ratings. I think it's like 4.8 or something. So I'm still pretty happy with it. The game is free, and you're able to play the game sort of to its full extent without paying for anything, but the ships cost money, but you can get them by spinning the astronauts in the game. So if there's so all of the content is available without paying for anything, but if you just have to have Space Bat now, then that costs $1.
Pay to win.
Did you choose Unity because it's easier to make games for multiple platforms, or why did you choose Unity?
I had a lot of experience in Unity. Yeah.
You guys said that this was another project that you guys were working on, so I'm assuming this isn't your first game. What is your first game you guys have made?
Oh, okay.
So this is the second game that we've made together. The first one was called Fly Whales Fly, and that was released 2-3 years ago. I actually think the prototype, so the earlier version that was created at Indie Galactic Space Jam, I think Fly Whales Fly released like 2 months after that prototype, or the Game Jam version. I'm pretty sure it's still available. Not entirely sure.
We've learned a lot.
Yes.
Did you all end up going with C# or Unity straight for the programming?
Using C#.
C#.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges you had when making the game, and how did you overcome them?
So we had an update come out in the last couple of days, sort of specifically to have something more exciting for this. One of the things I was dealing with was performance. So I spent a while trying to make it so that this application will work on even like really bad devices. And I'm happy to say it pretty much always is at 30 frames per second, even on a really, really bad device. So in mine, it works like perfectly constantly, so I was happy about it. Beyond that, do you have any thoughts on it? I think most of it went pretty smoothly, really.
Yeah.
Time for one
Yeah,
more
that was
question.
annoying. The rest I'm pretty happy with. Anybody? Yes?
Yeah, how many people worked on the game and how long did it take to make?
So me and him were working on it, so it was just the two of us. We've been working on it since November? Around November. That's excluding, so like November plus 2 days for the game jam, or 3 days. I don't remember anymore, but a couple of days.
Like full time or?
No, not at all. I graduated in December, so I was doing school and such up until December. He's still in school. As such, he's doing this on the side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
We've got a couple of announcements for you guys next. How many of you are game developers or are interested in making games? Okay, great. So our next guest, Michael Young from Digital Entertainment, is going to talk to you guys about an opportunity for some game developers here in town. So let's give Michael a round of applause.
Don't applaud, just throw money. And not that coin stuff. I want to see paper bills. So, all right, let me get my thing set up here. My name's Michael Young. I am one of the founders of Digital Entertainment, and I also teach at University of Central Florida for the Computer Science Department. Right now I'm teaching a Data Communications and Networking class. My friends call me Mike. My students call me Professor Young. Okay, so Digital Entertainment, we're in Winter Park, Florida, right off I-4 and Fairbanks Avenue. Got a small shop there. And we released the game Apollo 4X, which is a space-based strategy game, a very unusual type game. It's not your classic, open up areas and so on. We have planets every time you start to, but I'm not here to talk about the game, by the way. I'm just saying this is what we did. I'm not going to demo the game, but I do have, for those who are interested, I have cards to let you know it's on Steam. But that's what I want to talk about next. So anyway, so we got this game, and it's a space game. It also has combat you have to do with it. But I just wanted to go over my experience with this. We submitted it to Steam Greenlight on September 11th of 2014, wondering if and when it would ever get greenlit. So on March 29th of last year, it got greenlit. And if you go to the greenlit page now, it took over a little 6 months, and right now we have 10,000 keys activated, and it's not what I wanted to do. But the point I want to make is that if you want to put a game on Steam, you probably know you have to go to Greenlight, and it could be anywhere from a few months to a year or never, depending on how many people vote on it. And so, we have victory through trade and the city-states of Apollo. I cannot predict the market, but I can control them. Well, anyway, what I'm here is to talk about a business opportunity. I'm going to be brief. Is a company that has a game released on Steam. Since we can release another game immediately. I mean, literally, it's done, boom, it's up for sale without having to go to the Steam greenlight. And that's why I'm here tonight. So who here has a game that they're developing that they may want to get released on Steam? This is PC based. Okay, well, I'm talking to you guys then. Because what I can do is if you have a game ready or nearly ready for release, DigiN can publish it for you. And what that means is that you would start drawing revenue right away, not like we did, waiting and waiting and waiting many, many months. When are we going to start seeing some revenue? So there's no need to wait months to get green light approval, assuming that you even get green light approval. My terms would be very simple. The game must meet the quality control of our test team before DigiN will release it. We'll look at it and go, that's great, but can you make this, can you make that tweak? In other words, we don't want to put something up that's going to embarrass us. Your studio name will be prominent, and it'll only be listing as DigiN as the publisher. In other words, all your name and all your credits, all of that will be yours. It's not like we're going to take any steam away from you, pardon the pun. Sales revenue will come through, yeah, somebody finally got that. A little slow in the uptake. There we go. So sales revenue will come through DigiN. And actually, it's like every month I look and, ooh, there's cash in our account from this thing called Valve. In fact, my bookkeeper, who's part-time, she's also a UCF student, she says, where's this company Valve? They put money in your bank account. Oh yeah, that's Steam. Oh, great, good, just keep it coming in. So what would happen is it would come through me, and then you will have access to all the accounting information. We're not going to hide anything. We'll show you everything you need to see. And then as soon as the money comes in, we'll get you the check within a week, because my bookkeeper comes once a week. DigiN will take a small percentage of the gross revenue, the percentage of which will be negotiated based on several factors, but it's just a little bit, and your studio gets the rest. So we are local, based in Winter Park, not some faraway publisher in California, and you'll be dealing with me and my son Joe, who developed the game Apollo 4X. I'm just the business side of the thing. And that's all I have to say. Who's got questions? Who's interested? Anybody? Okay, so what we can do is when we break, yes, he's very interested, right?
I have a question.
Question!
All right, so you're going to publish it. Are you going to do anything to help promote the game or advertise the game?
We will help with that, yes. Yes, we will. And it depends on, how much revenue, what percentage we're going to get, on how much we're going to post. Yes, we will. But we will do some, but we're not going to take full charge of marketing, but we'll work with you on the marketing effort. Okay? Other questions? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the Apollo 4X in case you want to go take a look at it on Steam here. And here's my business card. I'll hurry then. I'll leave some business cards here if some of you want to come up later, or afterwards if you want to talk to me. But I've got a guest in town from DC, so I'm not going to be staying very long. Any other questions?
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right. So for those of you that indicated you are game developers, there's another opportunity coming up that I'm happy to announce. As some of you may know, I work at DeVry University. We recently moved near the corner of Kirkman and I Drive. Beautiful new campus. It's fantastic. It's the kind of campus that our students deserve. And Ludum Dare is coming up. Ludum Dare is a 48-hour game development competition that happens 3 times a year. And I've gotten permission from my supervisor to invite the Indienomicon community for free to our campus. There's a breakfast provided, a lunch provided. This is Saturday, April 16th. You get to hang out, make some video games if you want in Ludum Dare, meet some people in the local community, and there's even going to be a panel on entertainment technology that's going to be talking there, and it's completely free. So I have flyers. They're back at our merch table if anybody's interested, or come see me afterwards. I'll make sure you get one. But totally free event, chance to come and make some games at a really cool, modern university campus. So hope you guys will take us up on that offer. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah. So nice. one more small announcement. There is a local game that has a call to action for you guys. This is unseenkingdom.com. Let me bring this up real quick. All right. Local studio, they're currently on Steam Greenlight, and they need you guys to help. So make sure you go to their website. It's unseenkingdom.com. We're hoping to present them in some future month, but we wanted to let you guys know about that ahead of time. Local game, looking for help on Steam Greenlight. So unseenkingdom.com. And our last announcement, where's Kunal? Hey, Kunal, come on up. Something big happened last month you guys might be aware of, GDC and the Orlando booth. So Kunal's going to give you guys a brief update on how that went. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, the microphone's really hot. Just step back.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Oh, excellent. All right. So last month, we all went, not all of us, some of you guys didn't come, but a lot of you guys did, to the Game Developers Conference. It was the very first time that Orlando had presence at the Game Developers Conference. They knew that we were there. We had a booth. We were raising money. We were assembling talent. We were assembling studios, assembling games, wrangling a lot of things together, and we pulled it off. We actually had really amazing placement. We were right behind the IGF Pavilion, the Independent Games Festival, and we had a ton of people come by our booth. We had, I don't know what the final number was, but we had almost 40 people that I knew from Orlando that came to San Francisco, representing 15 different studios, and they were all there to do business. We went there and we had meetings. We met with different people that came to the booth. Some people were there looking for publishers. Some people were there looking for development contracts. Some people were there for education. And we're going to be compiling more information. So pretty much over the next month, 3 months, 6 months, we're going to start gauging what's happened. Because when people went there, they met with people from Microsoft or Sony or with publishers or with any number of people. And some of those business things, those wheels are moving. And the whole aim was that we go and we show Orlando to the rest of the game industry, to the rest of the world. A lot of those people don't know that we exist. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, like that 5K that's happening outside is insane. I can't believe all of you guys found parking. But that's a testament to how passionate and how strong you guys are that you guys all came here. And it's time to show, that there's actually a lot of talent and a lot of drive and a lot of passion to the rest of the world. So I don't have the figures in terms of how much money was made or anything like that, but I do have anecdotal feedback that I've gotten. Some people have said that my biggest problem right now is I don't know what contract to sign. That's pretty awesome. There's other people who've said I've spent 8 months trying to get a hold of Sony and Microsoft, and it came through in 2 days. There's lots of different examples of things that happened that we went actually there and tried to control our own destiny, actually make something happen. So we're going to start posting a lot of this stuff up onto the orlandobooth.com. We're going to start posting up stats and what's happened and keeping track of these things. So that this time, around this time next year, we're going to have an even bigger booth. And we're going to have studios that have been gaining business. We're going to have other groups from around the world, from California, from Canada, from South America, from wherever. They're going to start doing more business here in Orlando. That's going to create more jobs, more business for all of us. And Orlando is going to become more on the map. It's going to be a hub. People are going to know it. They're going to think of San Francisco, Austin. They're going to think of Seattle. And they're going to think of Orlando. They're going to keep us top of mind. That's the aim. So I want you guys to keep tabs on this. Ask me how it's going. Visit the Orlando booth and share knowledge of what's happening here in this community, because what we started about 3 years ago with Indienomicon, it really led up to making this trip to San Francisco possible. It wouldn't have been possible without all of you. And so everything that happens in this next year is because of your guys' presence and what happened at the Orlando booth. So every single month you're making history. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. And over the next couple months, look for progress reports that are going to come from that. what I hope to say is that, we ended up meeting with X number of hundreds of people, that we have this many deals that went through, that generated this many millions of dollars. And then all of a sudden, we have the ears and eyes of everybody in the government. There's lots of people in the city of Orlando, state of Florida, that are all anxious to learn about what's happened because we're doing it. The grassroots community went and did this. We did it ourselves. And a lot of people are looking to help. And so I just wanted you guys to know that. And so just stay passionate. And then I'm going to pass it back to David so you guys can see the next game.
Thank you, Kunal. Without further ado, we're going to introduce our final game for tonight. I'm really excited about this one. It has one of my favorite game titles of all time. This is Butt Sniffin Pugs. So please welcome Theory. He's making his way over.
Hi, this is Butt Sniffin Pugs. This is our keyboard. Cool. And it's created by SpaceBeagles. That's our collective team. Takes place Central Park, which is kind of, it's a dog park. And lots of things in this park to do. A lot of people think the main inspiration of this game, because they see like dogs pooping on things or peeing on things. I think the main inspiration is probably like, oh, another goat simulator or something like that. And though we do have like the fun factor of where you can just roam around doing whatever you want, see what happens. Also, there's a lot of building onto the park, so you can help the park flourish through being a dog and finding secrets and improving things, or you can crap on everything if you want, and it won't flourish. Just the flowers will flourish. What else we got? We've had quite a bit of success, and the game's not even like, it's just still alpha actually, and we were part of the Alt Control GDC official selection at GDC last year. We were at Indiecade E3. We were invited to RTX convention, and we were part of the Indie Mega booth at PAX Prime, this last PAX Prime. And then of course Verge made a video on us, IGN. I can gloat some more. Oh, PewDiePie made a video of us. We actually, because he liked the games so much, he actually sought us out at PAX. He has a busy schedule or whatever, right? He just showed up at our booth, standing next to me. I was like, oh, are you who I think you are? Yeah. But we actually put his dogs in the game as playable characters, just to be fun. What's next? So how did we get here? Yep, take it all in. So this was at GDC, where we first showed off the game. And that's actually the creator of this beast, Gabe. And I'm the lead developer, by the way. I'm local, he's in Arizona. The controllers are in Arizona, so this is kind of awkward. I'm going to be talking about these controllers, and I couldn't bring them. But it works on gamepad, so game's still fun. When it's released, you'll probably be playing it on gamepad, unless you can make one of these beasts. Should I talk over? No. I want to make sure I heard that. So we made these controllers because we thought it was a cool idea. Well, we were thinking of like, how could we get into GDC? It's expensive to like exhibit there. These guys know, so they just ran successful Orlando booth at GDC. I don't know if you guys were, how many people were a part of that? But yeah, I wish I was there. But we were there that last year with Sniffin Pugs. And how we got in was we made these cool controllers that you can see that help you run like a dog, and you can sniff butt like a dog. And so like Alt Control GDC is about making interesting and unique controls for like stuff you wouldn't think of being a part of a game. So yeah, that's the controllers. Actually, how it works is we wired a flux capacitor to the. No, actually, it's a torn apart, laser mouse, and we have a bunch of, what do you call them? I'm drawing a blank up here. I don't do a lot of public speaking. Lots of thingamajigs to help the ball run smoothly. Trackballs. Thank you. And so it was really hard to get it to work just right, but we feel it works pretty smooth. But yeah, it's just basically a mouse. Lots of people have fun playing it. Like everywhere we go, people like totally enjoy, like seeing the joy in people's faces when they get to poop on grandma's burger. It's astounding. But yeah, it's something about this game that just looks fun from afar that you just want to try it out yourself. One day at PAX, we actually had this kid on the right wanted to play, but PAX is so jam-packed with people that you can hardly even maneuver. He couldn't even get within like 20 feet of the booth because there's such a crowd. And it's not like we could clear the crowd because it was just a giant crowd. So we actually kept the booth open and had him come back at the end of PAX before they kicked everybody out, while they were kicking everybody out, and let him play, which is pretty special for us. Because part of the appeal of the controllers is accessibility. They're easier to use for small kids, for people with disabilities. It's just easier than if you don't have the dexterity in your thumbs, for example. But yeah, this is the team. For aspiring young devs, I think finding a good team, forming a good team is probably the most important thing you can do to be successful. Gabe and I actually got together through a game jam. We did a game jam together. I went on Twitter and I said, "Who wants to be my artist for this game jam?" And he came up and offered, and we got together and we made sure that we worked well as a team. We didn't even finish the game, but we worked well as a team, and then started work on a new project about Sniffin Pugs to see where that went. And also time management, so I can spend a lot of time on the game. We don't have any money. A lot of time on the game, while we both iterate on design and stuff, and he takes inspiration from wherever, and we talk about it, and we get it into the game. And while I build it out, he kind of is the producer, director, him and his wife, Michelle, and they like take care of all the small things and talking to people and getting it ready for the event and stuff, make sure I'm on track on getting things done, fulfilling deadlines and stuff like that. And we also have an exceptional artist. I'd also suggest finding an artist that fits in with the style you want for your game. Like, don't just seek out any artist willing to work on your game particularly, because they might not enjoy your direction of the game, and then they'll lose interest, and then that's where things fall apart. So don't have an illustrator, a high-resolution illustrator might not want to work on your pixel game, and you should understand that. Luke here is part of Anamanaguchi, and he's doing our music, which I'm pretty proud of. And then Andrew Burke made the controller prototypes for us and stuff, and Lego Butts over there, she helps out at events to make sure we can go get food when we need to, because when you exhibit at an event, it's very time consuming and all that, trying to make sure everybody's happy and everything's working well and all of that. We have additional promo art, and we have a guy who's just doing our sound effects, and that's making up our entire team. But yeah, we're going to be on Kickstarter probably in May sometime, pulling things together right now, and you can sign up to our email list at buttsniffinpugs.com. No G, just buttsniffin. I don't know what time frame we have on here.
We have time for questions.
We have time for questions. Questions. We're trying to work out how we can sell the controller. Like who could mass produce these controllers. But we totally want it to be a tier on the Kickstarter. Who knows when you'll get them, but we want it to be a tier on the Kickstarter. For especially thinking of people with disabilities, it's also going to be a functional gamepad. So there's that as well. Easier to use gamepad. Yes?
So I don't know if you can have one of those butt sniffing things in every home in America, but have you thought about like arcades and stuff? Because I feel like that would be
We actually, at the Toronto Independent Film Festival, at this part of the year, they have this arcade set up for indie games, I guess, and they built us a arcade cabinet. Yes, we showed them how our controllers work and all that, and helped them, and they have this. I should have brought a picture, darn. Didn't think of that, but
also like I'm thinking of like Six Flags, because they have like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like in the future, I'm open to it. I'm gonna go down the line. What's going on?
What was your inspiration to create this game?
I think more than anything else is we wanted to make a game that was just fun. There's no real pressure to complete objectives and be a completionist and all that, but that's an option. But you totally just roam around with a friend and do whatever you want. Let's see. Animal Crossing, I think, is a big inspiration. I think, for me, the old Zeldas with the exploration factor. Yeah, that's mainly it. You in the back.
What did slapping the pug button do?
Slapping the pug, that's a button. You can smell it if you want. But that actually, in the game, it changes. You go up to another dog, probably a pug, and you sniff their butt, and it inspires you, and you get new powers to use. So you can only do two things at once. If you need different to switch out your powers, you got to go find a dog, sniff their butt. Yeah.
How platforms are you looking at?
Oh, who said that? Oh, there you are. There's like a line of hands. Platforms. We are, I believe, confirmed for PS4 and Vita. Because GDC was a great way to talk to people about that stuff. There's tons of reps from PlayStation. In fact, Shu, of the leader of the game division in PlayStation, commented on our game and said he was really looking forward to it, which was really inspiring. So yeah, PlayStation, PC, nothing else confirmed, but it's made in Game Maker, so pretty much everything's a possibility.
How far along in development?
I want to say alpha still, because I have a lot of the systems made, and you guys will be able to play a small portion of it that I would say maybe 1/10 of the game. Some things we are planning outside of what you guys can play today is procedural, not full procedural generation, but we're going to switch things around to where when you play with a new friend, you're not going to be able to find everything right off the bat.
What's the timeline?
The timeline is Kickstarter in May, hopefully, if we can pull everything together, and then probably 6 to 9 months after that. Yeah.
Time for one more question.
Front, sorry.
Oh,
Or in back.
Have you considered after the reward for Kickstarter, everything else is done, just releasing the schematic for the controller on like some kind of partnership with a DIY website, so people could just make the controller if they wanted it?
That's actually a really good idea.
I was just gonna say, Steam just did that the other day. You can totally 3D print your your own Steam controller. I mean,
Yeah,
the controller
it's
sucks.
that's really cool. We have a 3D schematic on our Tumblr site or our Tumblr blog, but it's not like in full detail to where you could make it yourself. I think we could and eventually do that.
I was gonna say that would be an easier alternative.
That's true. Very, very true. Is that it?
Thank
Good?
you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank you guys for coming out and celebrating our Indieversary with us. We hope to continue running Indienomicon indefinitely. That would be the ideal. We've been doing it for 3 years. We're going to year 4. We want to continue to make this a family-friendly and fun event, and always free. So the way that you can help us out, we actually just have a brand new batch of the Indienomicon portal shirts, which Tony is wearing right here. So if you're interested in picking up one of those shirts, you can visit Jack back at the merch table. He's waving. And pick those up. The sizes go fast, right? So make sure you get one tonight before they get sold out. We also have a Patreon account as well, which we definitely appreciate you guys supporting us on that. So again, we want to continue offering these events. Hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. You'll get a chance to play Gravity Arc probably on the largest screen that it will ever be played on, and that's a touch screen, by the way. So have fun with that. And Sniffin Pugs will be set up back here. One of those monitors, I think it's set up on the one to the left. Our next event is going to be May 5th, so we hope to see you guys back here in 1 month for year 4 of Indienomicon. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy playing the games tonight. How's it going?